Hey everybody, how's it going? We already had a game with TeamLiquid just the other day, but today we're going to have a second match with them, and it is happening on Dragon Shire. They are going up against Yard Team. And Yard Team is of course a team that not only has Dimaga in their roster, but also players like, for example, Gala. And well, TeamLiquid, we all know them, the Spanish team, they're one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team, on the European server. And they've of course been experimenting a lot with Heroes of the Storm, as did Yard Team. And we're going to jump into a game between the two of them. I'm going to try and find out which team has the better grasp on the patch and how things changed, which team is going to win it here. Keep in mind, this is not a competitive match just yet. These are competitive teams, but this is still an environment where they've just been trying to just like experiment with new composition, with new talent leads for the heroes. Especially, of course, they are all trying to find a place for Sylvannas in the game. So keep that in mind while you're watching the match. And well, I hope that you enjoyed on Dragon Shire, TeamLiquid going up against Yard Team.
Welcome to another match on good old Dragon Shire, ladies and gentlemen. We have TeamLiquid, aka El Nexo, going up against Yard Team. El Nexo just joined TeamLiquid recently, just a few days ago. And we have a match that was played in Team League, actually, between the two teams here. So this is going to be an interesting one. The teams are experimenting a lot with the new patch, with the new builds, with the new hero compositions. And we're having Falcon here for TeamLiquid on Zagara. We have Grand Paquette on Morphirian. Lucifron on Stitches, Vortex on Sylvannas, and Black Scorp is playing Zeratul in this case. To the right side of the map, it's Hydra on Jaina. Got a huge damage boost in the last patch and is pretty happy about a newfound popularity. We have Turok on Brightwing, Gala on Illidan, Dimaga on Tyrande, and Dez on ETC. So the teams are of course going to experiment a bit with the builds that they have here for the heroes. You can already see that Jaina is being played a lot. I mean, if you've seen a couple of games in the new patch, Jaina is basically like the hero of the current patch, since she got like flat damage boosts to all of her skills. And normally we have like a build that goes for the trade on level 1 and on level 7. You try to focus a bit on the Blizzard with the rest of their talents, so that's what we usually see here right now. We have a tri-lane down to the bottom with Hydra, Turok and Dimaga for the Art team doing their thing here. And at this point, especially of course Vortex on Sylvannas is going to focus, at least at the beginning, a bit on the Withering Fire. This is the standard talent right now that you will see on level 1 with the Wind is taken here. A lot of players will take on level 4 and Venom, and on level 7 then go straight for that follow-up thingy. We're gonna talk about that later, at least if it's taken there. Gala in the mid lane, whoa, just barely dodging that route, but well, not dodging all of those skills, and therefore the first victim in the battle. 1-0 in terms of kills. TeamLiquid off to a good start here, of course, with Stitches going for the sustain build that you actually kind of forced into now that Pulverize lost its mini stun, which was one of the main reasons why you would go for that slam build on 13-16. Oh, that hook against Dimaga! He dies even though Turok was trying to save him, but yeah, that was really well done. So TeamLiquid with a great start into this. They're having Hydra and Turok doing their thing at the bot lane, trying to get maybe something done here. Up to the top, look at that creep spread alone already. It could be an early Dragonite if it continues like this. Oh my god, look at that! Lucifron, I was about to say missing his hook, but now I just realized that it's actually in the same team. So I'm not quite sure who exactly that hook was supposed to hit. Probably Gala if she jumped over Lucifron, trying to dash forward towards the Dragonite, towards Grand Paquette. So or he just like clicked the minimap with the hook. No, not really. So yeah. Interesting move there by Lucifron. I'm not sure what the idea was. I guess he really wanted to make sure that Gala did not jump over him and get towards the Dragonite and interrupt that. So a pretty interesting move there. Yeah, there's an Venom already taken on the side of Sylvannas, as kinda assumed, or as I talked about earlier. We have also an Venom on Jaina in this case, by the way. Not going for the Blizzard trade there. Interesting one. With the rest of the builds, it's pretty much the same that you would see in a normal match, except maybe for the Searing Arrows that are taken here on the side of Tyrande. Tyrande has Nexus Frenzy now on level 20, and that is actually a talent that makes it very interesting to go for a right-click damage build on her, which is kind of what we're seeing right now with the Searing attacks or the Searing Arrows taken on level 4. She can really do a lot of work there. If you look at the build that we're having for Stitches, it's Amplified Healing, of course, once again. Like, it's still the go-to sustain build for Stitches. That didn't really change in the last patch. Stitches himself got a few changes, but he is still pretty damn good, and you are forced in the sustain build with the Fishing Hook at 16, but that was a very strong build to begin with, and therefore nothing changed really. So for Brightwing, we're having, in this case, a Protective Shield. Yeah, he's gonna need that if he wants to get away there. Gets slammed into the ground in the last second once more. as Hydra is starting to make his way in on his Winter Jaina with a Reindeer and trying to push Vortex in, and there is that wave, that haunting wave that is already used by Vortex. Sylvannas is just a great hero, very, very fun to play. That Withering Arrow is amazing. She can, with her passive trait, of course, disable like towers and forts, and that is pretty damn cool because it allows her entire team to push those targets very, very well, and like very fast too. Like in the early game, if you pair her with a Zagara, which we have in this case, and a couple of other heroes that are good with dishing out damage against structures, and it can do a whole lot of work. And well, in this case it's actually Zagara holding the top lane to allow that pressure at the bottom to unfold completely, and you can really see how that works. I mean, they split the siege power that they have amongst the top and the bottom lane, so to say, and that allows Zagara up at the top to push in against Falcon, and then at the same time they still have Vortex down here. Oh, with another Withering Arrow, look at that! Oh yes, Hydra! No, he gets away! That Moonfire of Grand Paquette even hitting them, but survives here. Well done. It's ETC on the other hand that didn't make it, especially since Black Scorp, of course, on his Zeratul is once again just doing Black Scorp things. And that is, of course, killing people. So Black Scorp here with the normal build on his Zeratul, the reduction on the cooldown on Blink, as you see him take most of the time, being chosen here. We're having actually for Tyrande in this case an interesting choice, going for the Mule. Not 100% certain if you really on a map like this would go for Mule. Usually it's talent that you rather take when the objectives on the map attack the structures of your opponent directly, and this is not really the case here. But yeah, Mule taken, and Black Scorp, oh, that was kind of close. But Grand Paquette had an opportunity to grab the next Dragonite, and that's what he did immediately. So moving in already. Here's, by the way, the follow-through talent that we've been talking about earlier on Sylvannas, and it's a pretty damn good talent to take. So after using ability, do even more damage. Oh, Zagara, by the way, got double tapped at the top. And that means that Withering Fire is, of course, a talent that is also working with that. And oh, look at Vortex here. Well done. Immediately jumping away there. But yeah, with that, he will have a lot of DPS in the game. And we're going to look at that a bit later on, and to give you a bit of an idea how much damage Sylvannas can really dish out here. Level 10 versus 8 with 3 kills against 1 in the second Dragonite for them. I have to say that TeamLiquid is doing a great job against the R team so far. The R team is starting to struggle with this a bit, and I mean, right now, if you look at the build that they have, there's only one single protective shield on Brightwing. There's not even cleanse taken, so yeah, Gala will have to be very, very careful on her Illidan in this game in particular, especially since we don't even have a healing ward taken on Tyrande. Oh, we're going to talk about healing wards in a second. For now, we're actually having another 4 versus 4. Black Scorp using his Void Prism at the bot lane. And Vortex is getting in there. The Maga is getting low, but they can't drop him. Turok is surviving as well. Oh, that stun against Vortex. The hook against Gala. Gala is surviving. Oh my god, no. How on earth did that happen? Gala survives, and finally they're level 10 and they can fight on eye level with their opponent. They lose the 4 regardless, but the stun against Lucifron. In comes Gala with the Metamorphosis, trying to jump in. Metamorphosis allowing her to once again start that fight, and they're going for Grand Paquette. They get the double kill, and they might get Black Scorp too. The stun doesn't hit, but it does not matter. It's 3 heroes that TeamLiquid loses here, and Gala, she is just bloodthirsty as hell. She's a little bit like a Succubus, isn't she? Jumping in to kill Vortex now too, and if that stun would have hit, I can promise you one thing, there would have been another attack by Gala immediately. So with the Illidan really following this up. Nice damage here by them. I mean, as the heroic abilities go, we have Mosh Pit, we have Starfall, Metamorphosis, Blink Heal, and then also the Water Elemental taken, which in this case is, of course, like the Snowman. ETC rocking that Carpet. Carpet is now available in the shop by itself, which is pretty cool. It's, of course, the Wailing Arrow that we see on level 10 taken, the Putrid Bile, we have Void Prism, seen that in action already. Down here, Gala needs to be super careful, surrounded by enemies everywhere, and the hook even hitting the Maga is moving in too, trying to go for that right click damage again. Gala moves away, but in comes Brightwing, and suddenly it's a 5 versus 4. Nice Void Prism being used. Des is moving into that. Hydra is pushing everybody away, but the problem, of course, is that they abandon the top lane, where Falcon is just having a great time taking down the next structure here, going straight for that. Down here we have Lucifron, Grand Paquette is still going for it. And yeah, I mean, at this point, one of the things that I still want to highlight a bit is that we have, in regards to the damage, 19,000 already on Sylvannas. And that is mainly... Oh, nice attempt to take down Falcon, and successful as well. That is mainly because of that talent on level 7 with a follow through, and if you use the Withering Arrow properly, then you can really do a whole lot of damage with that. So Sylvannas really doing work here, down to the bot lane. Dimaga is about to die. Tyrande so far not with a lot of damage, even with the Searing Arrows on level 4. Now we're having both teams closing on level 13, 4 kills against 5, so still very, very close here in this particular game. We're having, in regards to the talents now, as the 13 talents spawn for both of them, we're having Ice Block taken on Brightwing, Sprint on Jaina, it is Giant Killer on Gala's Illidan. So she's going for that normal build, not going for the evasion talent on level 13 though, but instead straight for Giant Killer to especially put more pressure onto ETC, of course. We're seeing also now on level 13 that Huntress Fury talent taken that we've been talking about already a bit in other games, and that is extremely important if you really want to go for those particular talents, especially of course if you have Illidan in the game as well, and then you go for the right build with the Searing Arrow on level 4, then you really want to do some work, and that's where that talent comes into play. As the talents for Sylvannas go, we have Overwhelming Affliction now taken with the Black Arrow that also applies to heroes and slows them down. That's actually a pretty cool thing to have, especially of course since it's passive, so you don't really need to do anything there. You just get that flat out. Bot lane where Black Scorp is capturing another shrine. And this is just like I want to highlight it once again. This is like a Team League game that they've been playing where you have your picks but you don't have the bans, and of course the teams are experimenting a lot how to really play the maps here, how to go for the new heroes, how to use the new talents that some of them have. And yeah, how to just use the comps that suddenly became viable, since especially Jaina does such a huge burst in damage that she can now do even more than before. She was a bit of a glass cannon in the last patch, but right now the damage that you can put out, especially at the later stage of the game, is just absolutely ridiculous. Great hero to have in your arsenal, especially if you're relying a lot on the burst. But of course she didn't really get a lot of hit points, and well, with that in mind, this is still one of the main targets. It just comes in with a Putrid Bile. Hydra getting healed by the Blink Heal over and over again. Oh my god, he's still alive. That gust of healing doing so much work, but Jaina dies regardless. Malfurion is also dead, but you look at Illidan. Gala jumping in again, but she needs to be careful here. Ah, the hook hits her, and therefore Gala already down. So at this point, we're having Lucifer, Falcon and Vortex trying to follow that up. Black Scorp is also alive, and they're going for Dimaga immediately. He's the low HP target that they have still available. Des is low in HP though. Oh, Black Scorp is really looking for a kill. Vortex, on the other hand, is nearly dead as well, and Dimaga is dropped by Black Scorp. Yeah, but Turok might be here in time. No, Black Scorp moves away. Oh, can he blink? Can he blink? Alright, he's actually chasing, of course. I mean, it's Black Scorp. 15 versus 14. We have 8 kills versus 6 at this point, and another Dragonite. That's Dragonite, I think, number 3 for the team, right? TeamLiquid with a third Dragonite against the R team here. Uber Rockstar also taken for ETC. I didn't really mention that earlier, but it's still the standard ETC build. We've seen Scouting Drone taken by one of the teams in a Hero League match, just because it is a talent that is quite interesting now, since it has 2 charges and it allows you to have vision on the map, and well, Block is a talent that you can sometimes give up depending on your opponent's team health. We're having level 16 now with Blood for Blood. That's an interesting choice here still, that we don't have that extra 25% damage. It's basically like a second Hunter's Mark that you get, but of course it increases the range that you have on your talent, and therefore I think this is the main reason why Vortex is getting it here. But as I said, teams are still experimenting with the builds that they want to go for. But of course this is still a lot of pressure here, with Lucifer just like moving in right now, and that talent lead that they have is great for them. Having the extra DPS on against structures on the Dragonite is still absolutely amazing. One of the things that I pointed out earlier is that the healing ward, by the way, is a bit weaker now. It lasts longer, but it also has only 2% heal per tick instead of the 3% that he had before. Dimaga here is dying on his Tyrande. Oh, and ETC with a nice move there. Vortex actually loses his life on Sylvannas, and the Maw is trying to, of course, cover her retreat, but it's a bit too late already. Yeah, Gala jumps in, and it doesn't look like Zagara is gonna make it here. But will Gala make it? Nope. Illidan dies now too, and level 16 is at this point on the board for Team for the art team, and that means that we're having the northern exposure, standard talent level 16 for most of the Jaina players. Criterize, we're having blood for blood. True Shot Aura is now a level 16 talent, and it's a bit different, as you can see here in the description. It doesn't really give you that increased attack speed or anything, it gives you just the base attack damage, which is of course important as well. So it's 16 talent now instead of a level 7 talent, which is one of the reasons why we have Mule being picked in this game here. Talking about the damage once again, I mean, we have Zagara with 35,000 and it is Sylvannas still with 32,000. So if you compare that to the damage that the art team dished out so far in the game, you can really see that this is a lot of, it's just a lot of damage that you can dish out with Sylvannas. And I mean, she's one of those specialists that's not only about like the DPS heroes, it's not only like one of those right-click heroes that you want to use to just like take a target down, but it's just what else she offers. That silence that you have as your heroic ability is amazing for team fights. It's a great tool to have. Disabling towers or even entire waves is just absolutely brutal. You can see how much that can do when you want to stop a push like this. I mean, we just saw it in action a second ago, but especially taking down, let's say, a fort or a keep together with 1 or 2 allies is just so much easier if you have Sylvannas just disabling those. This is great, especially of course on a map like Dragon Shire, because let's face it, one of the big problems that you have dishing out damage with the Dragonite is that those keeps and forts, they slow you down. And they really slow you down. And if you can negate that, then it's of course absolutely amazing. Both teams are working towards level 20 now, and we're having the top still being pushed. 10 kills against 8. I mean, we're 14 minutes in, and this is still anybody's game to take. But of course, the Yard team has to deal with a pretty big push at the bot lane. Oh, Turok there with a blink kill, trying to escape. Oh, but the fight is on. Yeah, it looks like Des is trying to go for another mosh pit there. Oh, that did not work out at all. Bad communication from TeamLiquid there. Completely throwing that ball and the additional Void Prison, and they lose Stitches, and they might lose much more than that. Here comes the Blizzard. Oh, that damage! Well done. Great move, of course, by Des. That was the setup that they needed for this one, and they're taking down Zagara now as well. Everybody's dying here. Vortex is just trying to get away. Des might actually be able to get him as well. Already getting that crit in, going for a second one. Yeah, but he doesn't have the cooldown ready, apparently. So at least Vortex survives here on Sylvannas, but they still need to deal with the push at the bot lane that we've been talking about earlier. I mean, right now you can see that these two have been doing some work, but this is going to be a Dragonite. I mean, how exactly are you going to prevent that as TeamLiquid? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You don't. Des is taking the Dragonite and can move in now, and we are 15 minutes in, so that bad boy is starting to do some serious work. Just 2 hits one of the towers and rotates down to the bot lane. So it's all about trying to catch up now. We have level 19 versus level 19. In structures, they have suffered a lot of losses, but they have been able to get their kills in. 12 kills against 11, giving you an idea about the DPS in the game once more. And with that, we are probably going to see level 20 hit very, very soon now for the art team. And, I mean, they've been destroyed in the early game. Oh, that hook! That hook against Des moves out of the range of the second tower and starts to do his thing here. Vortex is moving back to the team, using, of course, his own wave. Level 20 now with Nexus Blades taken a Lillidan. We are having on Jaina the new talent, Arcane Power. It has the Overdrive power icon, but you can really see that it's like just an increased spell damage for 5 seconds and also restores some mana. If you just want to do burst damage, it's a pretty interesting talent to take. You give up Bolt of the Storm in most cases, and that's of course a great talent to have on Jaina, since one of her problems is still the vulnerability, and Bolt of the Storm gives her just an additional escape mechanism. We're having Tyrande in this case now with the Nexus Frenzy talent. This is one of the main reasons why people are experimenting with the right-click damage build now on her. So this is something that could lead us into Dimaga doing a lot more damage now. Bolt of the Storm not only for ETC here, but now that the level 20 is hit for TeamLiquid, we're also seeing that on Zagara and Malfurion, with Hardened Shield taking on Stitches, and the Deafening Blast on Sylvannas. And well, you get more damage, and the silence is a lot longer. It's just such a great tool. Seriously, I mean, like, yes, the second ultimate is fun and it sounds pretty cool, but if you look at that particular one, I mean, silence is just such a great skill. We all know what happens when Malfurion just is able to blink in at 20 and get a good silent off against the team. And just imagine that now with Sylvannas and her arrow here, and then being used at level 20. Oh, the pressure against Hydra. Blackscorp maybe chewing off a bit too much. Biting off too much, more than he could chew, that's what I wanted to say. Mixing that up, Khaldor, keep it simple. So right now we're having another jump against Lucifer. I mean, they're fighting a 5 versus 4 and they really don't want to do that. The Maw is saving Lucy's ass. kind of try, disrupting the party here, you could say. Of course, on Black Scope, you're seeing now the additional rewind, and that is helping. Looking at the damage again, well, Tyrande is starting with 23,000. Not really impressive, nothing to write home about just yet. But it could increase now with the Nexus Frenzy taken, especially, of course, with the Searing Arrows on level 4. You get a lot more damage for your buck in this case, then. And they are pushing in. I mean, you can really tell that right now this is like the phase of the game where your team is really starting to get a lot of value out of the hero choices. Earlier, they struggled a lot against that. We have Sylvannas also starting to fall off a bit in damage. She was doing extremely well in the mid game, but now in those late game situations, she's not really the high DPS hero any longer. But once again, I have to highlight that she doesn't necessarily have to be. She has a lot of great tools that she can use in all those fights, but of course she's another squishy, so you have to be careful with that. Zagara, is she really the hero that can help out with that right now? I don't know, but at this point, TeamLiquid is still looking at the 11 kills from earlier. 11 against 13, so they need to somehow get back into the flow of the game now. To the bot lane, we're having Hydra on his Jaina. Jaina, by the way, with 36,000 damage, which is showcasing pretty well how much you can do with that hero at this point. The top is taken by TeamLiquid, so they're going straight for this one. Healing, by the way, 60,000 against 65,000. Tyrande now with a bit of a better healing move as well, but she is still supplying 16,000 without a healing ward, by the way. So we're having Malfurion still with a healing ward. That adds, of course, to what he is showing here. Tranquility plus healing ward equals 60,000, and of course his skills as well. On Brightwing, we have with Blink heal 65,000 quite easily, and Tyrande, even without the healing ward, is still at 16, which is not really like a lot. Like it's not really the most, but it negates the damage that has been dished out by Malfurion, if you want to think about it like that. Oh, that could have hit. That could have hit, but it didn't. Well, they're pushing in the bot lane at this point. Falcon, Vortex, they're just waiting for an opportunity there to maybe flank somebody and get an easy kill. If they accomplish that, it would be great for them. Keep in mind that both of the teams could probably end with another Dragonite here. But there's the fight. Lucifer is in position right now. Illidan is jumping in. And Black Scorp, oh, he's in the middle of things. Oh, Black Scorp screwing that up a bit. Put it into a bad spot. They lose Zeratul, and that is, of course, bad news. Falcon, there's just no Void Prison anymore, no nothing. Had to use it in a really bad spot. Suddenly, Lucifer is being slowed down as well. That Snowman is just scary and is doing work. Lucifer might not even make it. Down here, we have another fight already happening, and yep, Stitches is down. Blizzard taking him out, and this is not looking promising for TeamLiquid. Can they hold the core here? They lost 3 heroes. It's a 5 versus 3 at this point. And the other team isn't even going for that Dragonite. They're just saying like, well, why would we need the Dragonite? We can end this right now. But can they? It looks very much like they can. Vortex and Grand Paquette, they are not really two very hit point heavy heroes. And Vortex! Oh, that is it. Vortex goes down, he dies, and this is game, ladies and gentlemen. TeamLiquid starting with a great opening in this game, but then it is the R team that turns things around and wins the map here in the new patch in Team League on Dragon Shire.
Pretty fun game that we saw there between the two teams. Our team in the end is able to take it, but especially at the beginning, TeamLiquid was dominating that match for a long time. But the patch, I have to say, has a lot of cool things that it added to the game, and I'm really enjoying those matches that we've been seeing so far. I hope you did too. If you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. If you have any questions, anything that you want to ask about the patch or about the compositions that have been played by the teams here, just post a comment into the comment section. I'm going to see you guys on the channel the next time with more Heroes of the Storm content, so stay tuned and have a great day. Bye bye, guys.